Hello and welcome back to One Hit Wonderland, where we take a look at bands and artists known for only one song. And I said I wanted to get this series out of the 80s and 90s, and I meant it. Last time I went all the way back to 1965. This time, I'm gonna get as recent a one-hit wonder as I dare.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty, 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 trying to catch me riding dirty.
Yes, today we're going back a mere 10 years, which is really not very long ago. In fact, I'm risking the real possibility that the artist in question could have another hit any day now. I mean, I didn't think I'd be covering a Mike Posner song in 2016, but here we are. The song in question, of course, is Ridin by Chamillionaire, with an assist from Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. And it blew up in that brief couple of years when Houston was the center of the hip-hop world. The Dirty South was, of course, big since the start of the millennium, but it mostly centered around Atlanta and occasionally Memphis or New Orleans. But for 2005 and 2006, it all moved to Texas. And everything was about grills and purple drank. And the hot new names were Slim Thug, Paul Wall, Mike Jones. Mike Jones. I'm not gonna repeat myself. But of all those guys, none of them had a bigger hit than this guy, Chamillionaire. A guy who, to this day, has one of the goofiest rap names I've ever heard. I need a name that conveys wealth and success, but also that I'm a small lizard. Richie Reptile, Gordon Gecko. I've got it! Chamillionaire! His icon was even a lizard. It looks like the logo on a t-shirt you buy at spring break. But the song was not goofy at all. It was hot as hell. More importantly, it inspired the Weird Al parody. Not making any assumptions about my audience here, but I'm pretty sure you guys are all more familiar with this version. Did you know that's Key and Peele at the beginning? Yeah. Okay, I swear I'm not going to make this whole video about Weird Al. Although honestly, at the time, I thought this might be one of those songs that got outshone by the Weird Al parody. But no, Ridin has held up. Everyone still loves that song, though Chamillionaire took his chameleons and largely disappeared. Where is he? Where did he go? Why did he only ever remain a one-hit wonder? Maybe they finally caught him. I mean, that's generally what happens when you go out of your way to taunt the cops. What did you think was gonna happen?
Ready or not, we butt off in the air, Crazy Bone and Chamillionaire.
Chamillionaire was born Hakeem Sariki in Houston, Texas, making him Houston's second favorite Hakeem. He also occasionally goes by the name King Koopa.
Lizard, lizard, lizard. It's the almighty King Koopa.
Which is way better name than Chamillionaire and hilarious to boot. If only he does us all a favor and killed Mario. But more interesting than Cam's roots is the rise of Houston in the hip-hop world. One thing I distinctly remember about rap in the 2000s was that it was extremely regional. Where you were from kinda dictated what style of hip-hop you made, and you repped for your hometown in a way that I don't think really happens anymore. Fetty Wap doesn't really rep for Jersey, not the way that 10 years ago Nelly repped for St. Louis, T.I. was from Atlanta, Twista was from Chicago, and so on. The Houston scene had a couple acts that got famous before the mid-2000s, there were the Ghetto Boys, UGK, but it really started blowing up in 2004. Chamillionaire got in the ground floor, having released like 6 billion mixtapes at that point, and 2 albums with Paul Wall, the chubby white guy with the teeth, remember him? Unfortunately, by the time Paul Wall got big, they had fallen out. Actually, all those guys had a beef at one point or another, I'm not really clear why. Chamillionaire also started his own label at that point, Chamilitary Entertainment. Yes, he had a Chamilitary. I kinda wish he had just continued with that. He could marry Camila Kunis, his children would be Chamillennials. Anyway, he got a major label deal and released his first album. Here is his first single.
Yeah! Super producer Scott Storch.
Oh no, Storch? I hate that guy. Although this beat isn't bad, I guess.
Let me show you what to do with it. Who that is? That's the illest rapper chopped and screwing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but I wouldn't exactly seek it out. And I'm sure recruiting Lil Flip seemed like a good idea, but he was actually on his way out. He had just had this huge crossover hit that was unfortunately very, very popped, but you never really heard much from him again. Those coattails weren't taking anyone anywhere. No, the big hit was to come. Okay, first off, to be clear, the name of the song is just Ridin. Ridin' Dirty was already taken. Anyway.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty.
There is one big reason that this song went to #1. That chorus. That beat is untouchable right there. Certainly would have preferred to hear more beats from these guys rather than Scott Storch, but they were kind of one-hit wonders themselves, which is disappointing because this track crushes. This song could have been about anything and been huge. But let's talk about the lyrics. Something I heard a lot of complaints about is that rap music in the Bush years was too caught up in Cash Money Hoes and missed a prime opportunity to say something meaningful. Certainly there was not much in the way of social commentary coming from Houston, which is primarily known for abusing cough syrup and making music that sounds like it does when you abuse cough syrup. I mean, there was probably a ton of provocative hip-hop that I'm not remembering, but the way it felt, the sum total of hip-hop making a statement in the 2000s was...
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Which, you know, is not going to go down as one of the great speeches in history.
Laws on patrolling, you know they hate me.
So Chamillionaire did something huge by calling out police profiling and getting the entire country to groove to it. I have no idea how he got away with that. Looking back, it's kind of shocking that it wasn't controversial at all.
Send a message to the law, tell them we hate you. We
If it was released today, you would be goddamn hearing about it, I'll tell you that much.
Thinking they'll catch me in the wrong and keep trying. Denying that it's racial profiling.
What I think is really amazing about this song is that it makes a gangsta anthem out of not doing anything illegal.
When they realize I ain't even riding dirty, but you'll be leaving with it even madder mood.
I mean, what Chamillionaire is bragging about here is basically being hassled by the cops.
He's pulling right behind where we sitting low.
Now, as I recall, in most anti-cop songs I've ever heard, that's a huge injustice. Something that'll piss you off as a symbol of everything wrong with the goddamn world. Burn everything down, fight the power. But for Chamillionaire, it's awesome. Like he just punked the cops by getting pulled over. It's like Bugs Bunny outsmarting Elmer Fudd again.
You can't arrest me, plus you can't sue.
Being unfairly profiled and searched is totally worth it if you can waste a little bit of a cop's time. I mean, he does make clear that he is in fact a gangsta who does illegal things, he's just not doing anything at the moment. And the cops are searching for entirely racist reasons. I mean, I guess he's carrying a gun.
There's a full clip in my pistol, send a jacker into a coma.
That's not really a problem. I mean, he's in Texas, it's illegal not to have a gun.
Got warrants in every city except Houston, but I still ain't losing.
I am kind of curious how he has warrants in every city except the one he lives in. Is he like a commuting gangsta? Constantly taking gangsta business trips? Of course, when I'm talking about unfair profiling, I'm just talking about Chamillionaire. Crazy Bone is in fact riding dirty as all hell.
I've been drinking and smoking, holy shit, 'cause I really can't focus. I got to
Unlike
get that
Chamillionaire, who's keeping it clean, Crazy Bone's plan is to just run.
pop, hope cops don't see me on the low key.
I mean, not that anyone could tell, he's flowing way too fast.
They been sipping on the Hennessy and the gin again, the sin again, we in the wind.
That was what was so great about Bone Thugs. It didn't matter what the hell they were rapping about. The flow was always just so beautiful.
The crooked cops who try to come up fast.
It's funny, because Chamillionaire, as far as I can tell, was not looking to do anything all that different. It's not like hating the cops or being a gangsta is particularly groundbreaking. But in hindsight, all anyone in mainstream hip-hop wanted to do in 2006 was get drunk and buy jewelry. And I guess that hasn't really changed much either, so Chamillionaire actually did stand out from the crowd. So what happened to him? This is the only other single off his first album, Grown and Sexy.
Yeah, you look better from behind. You look better from behind. Yeah.
It's a sex jam. It's not terrible, I guess. Although grown and sexy is kind of a gross thing to say. I mean, I guess it's better than saying not grown, but still, it's like one of those things you shouldn't really have to say. Like, she's sexy and doesn't have an arm growing out of her back. He also had a guest verse on Sierra's top 10 single, Get Up.
It's the kids, they riding big. The one police try to catch riding dirty in the club.
Oh jeez, he had to reference his only hit. When you have to start reminding people who you are and why they might remember you, that's a bad sign. I heard B.O.B. reference himself once.
Nothing at all, nothing on you.
And that's when I knew things were gonna go really bad for him. See, the thing is, without the subject matter, I don't think Chamillionaire was that interesting a rapper. In fact, the mid-late 2000s were a good time for a rapper to have one or two hits and then drop off the map. Also, the entire Houston scene itself seemed to disappear around 2007, and I have no idea why. Maybe because music drifted from chopped and screwed and over towards auto-tune. Maybe just because so many of them were dead at that point. Codeine is actually really dangerous, kids. Just say no to drink. But anyway, Chamillionaire did release a new album in 07, and he went back to the same thing that made him famous to begin with. Antagonizing the cops.
So much drama in the industry. Hip-hop police are listening. It's murder, murder, murder. Somebody tell them it's murder. Murder was the case, and they blame me.
Basically a back and forth between him and a cop hassling him. It's like that one verse from 99 Problems, except for a whole song.
You are not guilty of anything, then why did you run? Cause you the police, and plus I saw you cocking your gun.
I gotta admit, I kinda love this thing.
Who is this guy Buster? Who is this guy Snoop? Who is this?
It even imagines a world where rapping itself makes you persecuted. Like, even Eminem and Kanye are getting hassled in the video. You know, that dangerous gangsta Kanye. Like, in this world, even will.i.am and Macklemore might get locked up.
Rest in peace of Virginia Tech, too many innocent kids dying.
Like I said, I don't think Chamillionaire ever intended to be this firebrand railing against authority. He just kind of fell into it by accident. And you know, I've certainly seen gangster rappers try to be political and do much worse. I wouldn't have minded if this had gotten as huge as Ridin, but that was big off the power of the hook. And without the hook, songs about police abuse were just too out of touch with what people wanted in 2007.
This is the way I live. Little boy still pushing big wheels. Crack that song. Now why me? Crack that song. Now why me? Crack that song. Now why?
The last time I remember Chamillionaire trying to release a mainstream single was back in 2011. It was a kiss-off song to his haters called Good Morning. As in, good morrow, haters, and have a lovely rest of your day. I love sarcastic shit like that.
I wanna show all of my haters love. This song's for you. If you had it like me and I was in your shoes, I'd probably hate on me too. So I wave to you like good morning, hey, 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 hey.
Oh god, poor Tom Petty. This is the worst thing to happen to Free Fallin' since John Mayer.
And I'm free.
Since then, Chamillionaire left the big labels and has been strictly independent. He still only ever put out the 2 full albums, but he still puts out a mixtape, like on a monthly basis. But as far as I can tell, he only does that for fun. What's he doing instead? Mostly being rich as hell.
He sold his app for $500 million.
Yeah, that millionaire part of his name, he's not making that up.
Chamillionaire is literally a chameleonaire.
I
don't know what that means.
He's a multi-million. Yeah.
Even before he broke mainstream, he was apparently investing his money very, very wisely. Here he is speaking at Stanford. And nowadays he's also entrepreneur in residence for a venture capital company. And in the past couple of years, he's also gotten into tech, investing in an online video company called Maker Stu. What? Wait a minute, hold on. I work for... Well, I hope I made you a lot of goddamn money, Chamillionaire. I don't know if I have any fans who are cops. Well, guess what? You've been putting cash into this cop hater's wallet every time you watch my videos. Did I mention the millions? Who cares?
They see me rolling.
I don't give one shit about whether his music career should have been bigger. I mean, okay, I wouldn't have minded if some of his other songs had been hits. I listened to some of his mixtapes. He's a pretty funny guy. And he still might have more hits in him. He's finally releasing that 3rd album this year, so who the hell knows? I mean, no one was talking about Bone Thugs in 2006, and then Chamillionaire brought them back. So yeah, he could very well make a comeback and sell a ton more records. Won't be selling them to me, though. Done enough work for him.
Tryna catch me riding dirty. 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 They see me rolling. They're hating. Patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty.